Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we are very pleased you have joined us for the Precious Metals and Critical Minerals Conference. Our next presentation of the day is from Precore Gold. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Paul Duma, Executive Chairman of Precore Gold, which trades on CSE under the symbol PRCG. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you very much, Lily, for the intro. Appreciate it. I'd like to thank everybody for attending the conference here today. As Lily mentioned, my name is Paul Duma. I'm the Executive Chairman of Precore Gold. I'd like to take the next 20 minutes to elaborate on the opportunity that the company is offering. I think there's a lot of upside to the company right now with the projects it has under hand. There's a lot of activity, and I think there's going to be a lot of news flow for 2026. This is our standard forward-looking statement. I'd like everybody to take note of it. Why invest in Precore Gold? I think there's basically some four foundations that when you go into an investment, you have to look at. I think first of all, you have to look at management, you have to look at the asset, you have to look at the location of the asset and the capital structure. So here we cover basically the four foundations of why investing in Precore. We're focused on generating shareholder returns. We want to capitalize also on the commodity prices today. Gold over $4,000 an ounce, I think is just fantastic. We have a strong executive team with a track record that has made significant discoveries in the past and has developed some world-class gold assets. We have a portfolio of projects in the Tier 1 mining jurisdictions with mature infrastructure and excellent political stability. We have a tight capital structure with strong insider positions. This is our executive team, management, board of directors, and technical advisory. Myself, I have over 30 years of corporate finance and investment banking. I originally come from PricewaterhouseCoopers and then moved on to RBC Dominion Securities. I've been in the mining industry for the last 20 years. We have Louis Garrier-P. He's a geological engineer with over 30 years of experience in Quebec and Latin America. He spent the last 15 years with Anglo American in Peru and IM Gold. He has recently was the executive VP of geology for O3 Mining. O3 Mining got purchased at the beginning of this year by Nico Eagle. I'd like to bring your attention also to Dr. Jacques Trottier. He's had 35 years as a professional geologist. He has several discoveries, Nugget Pond, Shahuindo in Peru, and most recently the Perron project, owned and operated by Amex Exploration, of which he is the founder of. If you want additional information about the rest of our executive team management, I advise you to go to our website. You could drill down. You have more details of some of the successes and the developments that these individuals have had. We recently closed a $1.4 million financing, so we're going to be adding on to management here and technical advisory team. I just got back from Peru, and we've already started putting together a technical team there ready to start executing some of the programs in December of this year. Our two main projects and the location, Tier 1 mining jurisdictions. We have two projects in Canada. One is the Lac Big Rush project located in Chibougamau, Quebec, and the other one is the Kimber project in British Columbia. Our flagship is the Arequipa project in the province of Arequipa, located in Peru. I'm going to focus mostly on the Arequipa project because I think this is the value added for the company. This is where we're going to get the most value for the company. The project is an option agreement. We totally contracted this whole agreement Canadian dollars. All the terms of the agreement can be accelerated to seize on the drilling success. I won't go through the details of the agreement. You guys could do that afterwards. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But the objective of this transaction was basically not to make it onerous on the company. There's no cash payments up front. There's no yearly cash payments. It's strictly driven on exploration expenses and milestone payments. which is very beneficial for the company. So if you look to the right, the location of the Arequipa project is highlighted in black there. All those green dots are basically deposits or operations that exist today. Arequipa project, the access, located in the province of Arequipa, about 110 kilometers south of the Arequipa city. It covers an area about 1,800 hectares, just above 1,200 meters above sea level. That's easy access by the Pan American Highway, which is a paved highway, all to the straight to the town of El Toro. From El Toro to the project is basically open paved gravel roads to the site. El Toro is located about 73 kilometers from a major port, the port of Matarani. The port of Matarani basically is the hub for the shipping for the ore from Cerro Verde and Zafranal mines. It's seen a lot of infrastructure updates in the last year. Over $600 million has been spent there for opening up a deep sea port to accommodate additional ore. Mining in Peru makes approximately about 12% of the GDP, 59 to 65% approximately of the export. Peru is the second largest copper producer globally, and it's supportive of mining-friendly legislation, welcoming a lot of foreign investments. There's Canadian companies there, American companies, Japanese companies there. So Peru is very open to foreign investment. What I want to highlight here is the location of our property. Arequipa is noted in gold. The surrounding mines in the area. One in particular is called Cerro Verde mine. It's about 35 kilometers north of us. It's owned and operated by Freeport-McMoRan. Annual production is about over a billion pounds of copper a year, and the grade is about 0.35%. So I want to note that the grade 0.35% and the ownership is by Freeport-McMoRan. It's important to remember that because you see further down in the presentation our location and the interest that we have of these companies. Tia Maria project is located about 15 kilometers southeast of us. It's a huge project. They got their permitting back in October of this year, and when they received their permitting, the project was already about 90% complete. They are forecasting that production is going to be beginning end of 2026, beginning of 2027. They're looking to produce another 120,000 tons of copper a year, also at a grade of about 0.36. And just a little bit more to the west of us is Zafranal project owned by Teck and Mitsubishi. They're producing 120,000 tons a year as well. I want to talk a bit about the geological occurrence that is at Arequipa project. The Arequipa project is located in what is known as the Southern Peru Gold Belt. It's a part of the Central Andes Porphyry Belt. It's a copper gold system that's composed of or associated with granodiorite and diorites. Some of the major deposits like Cerro Verde and Zafranal occur near major fault structures. Arequipa has identical geological characteristics as these other two mines. It has the same geological footprint. It's a multi-phase copper gold intrusion complex that includes the same type of rocks as diorites, quartz, feldspar, and porphyry. So it's a multi-phase complex that has been recognized over an area of 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. And this area remains open laterally in all directions and is open also at depth. The Arequipa project has had some historical drilling on it, 2 different phases. Over 13,000 meters of drilling has been done. The first phase was a RC drill hole done by Cobriza in 2012. And the other phase was a diamond drill hole done by Zahina back in 2017. So due to some of the geological workings over the millions of years, 2 almost distinguishable mineralized zones have been created here, one a copper zone and one a gold zone. So just to highlight some of the best historical drill intercepts on the copper feldspar porphyry system, we're looking at 142 meters at 0.37 with also gold and silver associated with it. And another hole, they intercepted the 357 meters at 0.29, again with some gold and silver associated. and the other hole was 111 meters at 0.24. So if you look at the average, if you do a copper equivalent, you're well over the 0.35, which is the average that we see at Cerro Verde and Zafranal. So very typical of that gold copper system belt. So we have the identical prints, almost exactly the same type of results that we have in the operating mines near us. The best historical drill intercept on the gold section, and this is what we're really focusing on when we acquired this property. We're really looking on the gold aspect because of the gold commodity prices have changed drastically over the 9-10 years ago. So the best intercept there is 420 meters at 0.91 grams ton per gold. And within that 420, there's an intercept there of over 80 meters at 3.17 grams ton per gold. So fantastic intercept there. There's other holes that you could see that have decent grades, 66 meters at 1.23, 60 meters at 77. So this is the focus that we're looking on when we start analyzing the data of this project. So if you look at the best historical drill intercepts here on the slide, you look to the northeast, which is the green boxes. You see the best intercepts there. This is basically the copper zone that we've identified, or that has been identified in the past. And if you look towards the southwest, this is more the gold intercepts that we analyze and that we compile the data on. So two distinct systems. This is where comes the multi-phase system within the geological setting. And if you notice the points that are on this chart here, there's a location, geolocation of the drill holes, and the drill collars are approximately 300, 500 to a kilometer apart. So there's a lot of room there that we could add some volume of rock. This is a cross section looking northwest of the best hole of the AK02, where there was never any follow-up to it for the last 9-10 years, even during this drill program. So it gives you a bit of the cross section of the location of the mineralization, and this is what we're focusing on for the next drill campaign. So at the end of that hole, the AK02, where we had that long intercept of 420 meters at 0.91, if you look at the core here, it's very altered, propylitic alteration. There's quartz veinlet stockwork, and the mineralization is associated with pyrite magnetite gold. So this section here is a 3-meter section that intercepted 20.5 grams gold per ton and 4.4 grams silver. And again, as I mentioned, there was no interest and no follow-up on this. So our goal with this project right now, we're looking at a gold mineralized envelope about 400 meters by 3 kilometers and open. So what we want to do initially is that we want to go in here, we want to twin 1 or 2 holes, and then start doing some step outs to add volume to the system. As I mentioned before, these holes were drilled 300-500 meters apart, up to 1 kilometer apart. So there's a lot of potential of creating some mineralized volume here. If we take into consideration the size of the property, all these past drill holes intercepted mineralization. So a lot of potential here. I'm just going to skip this slide and I'll come back to it later on. I just want to explain a bit what we want to do. On Tuesday, we announced a brownfield exploration program. And part of this is to advance environmental and community work, including permitting for the water. And we're implementing a rigorous community outreach program, which I think is essential for these projects. I don't think we'll have any difficulty obtaining these permits that will be supporting our drill program due to the fact that the Tia Maria just got their permitting for production, and they are situated about 15 kilometers southeast of us, sorry. We want to update the CIRA certificate. The CIRA certificate is what they call a non-existent archaeological remains. We have one in our possession right now that is valid. We need to update it and include the pad locations of our next drill program. We also want to refresh the access to the road, to the project, primarily by the removal of wind drift sand and ease of access to the technical team and various consultants and contractors that we're going to be hiring. The photo in the middle shows you the existing road with some of the sand drifts there. Most of the people are traveling alongside that road, so we'll be putting a bulldozer there for a couple of kilometers, which is going to be good for the company and access for the contractors. We're going to begin a pre-drilling exploration work, which includes a high-resolution downhole imaging in order to obtain some data and interior surface orientation of the rock as well. So that'll give our geos a bit more information about the orientation of the rock and the mineralization, where it's going. We've located the majority of the drill collars so far, so accessing them and then putting down the televiewer would be relatively easy. And we want to conduct also a geophysical survey, induced polarization, to better understand the concentrations of sulfides that are associated with the gold mineralization. So that's basically the initial program prior to our drill program. The drill program, we're going to be applying for the maximum drill collars possible, which is going to be 20 drill collars. From there, we'll be able to reposition the drill and do some fanning if we need to, but I think the 20 drill collars will be sufficient enough for us to complete the first couple of the existing holes and do some step outs to it. I just want to bring the attention to our location of the property here on this slide. Precore is in orange. What you see in gray is Freeport. In the greenish color is southern Peru. Actually, in the blue, also called Minera Los Telmos, that is also owned by southern Peru. So we're surrounded by tier 1 producers, and the Freeport, they basically claimed this property back in March of 2025. Prior to us completing the transaction in April of this year for the Arequipa property. So a lot of interest in the area. So we're looking forward to continuously doing some work there and continuing some discussions with some of these individuals. Just quick note on the picture to the right here, some of the high-grade zones. Level 369, we hit 3.7 grams ton. The 399 level is 20.5 gram ton, and over the 400 meter level, we're looking at 5.5. So we did some of that. We're going to do some additional analysis on that, and we want to follow up on these zones and figure out where the mineralization is coming from. So quickly, just to touch base on the Lac Big Rush project, we're going to be finishing acquiring 100% of this property by the end of December of this year. It's very well located. It's 35 kilometers from the town of Chibougamau. The property is composed of 40 claims, a little over 2,200 hectares. We've applied for a little bit more land there, so we should obtain that before the end of December as well. The Chibougamau mining camp has seen a lot of interest in the last couple of years. That's due to the fact of the discovery of the Nilligan deposit by IM Gold. And actually, IM Gold recently acquired a company by the name of Northern Superior. Northern Superior has had quite a big piece of land in the Chibougamau area with 3 deposits. One of the deposits is the Croteau deposit, which is 640,000 ounces at 1.7 grams gold per ton. Our property lies adjacent to that deposit, and actually the deposit is 300 meters from our property. So we're looking to do a quick program on this, finish the compilation, and by 2026, we'll be able to identify a drill program for that property. Historical drilling on there, early 1950s, 1980s, they intercepted 7.2 and 5.3 grams ton per gold over 0.7 meters. So nothing has ever been done on this property for the last 30, 40 years. And we're looking forward to moving onto it in 2026. And which is nice about it is that now we're surrounded by a tier 1 producer, which is IM Gold. The other property we have is in BC called the Kimber Project. I won't touch too much about it. It's more of a grassroots project. We need to do a bit more data compilation on that prior to us going in and doing any work on the ground. So we'll be focusing basically on Arequipe and the Chibougamau property for 2026. Here we have our capital structure. We only have 31 million shares outstanding, 8.7 million warrants, and 1.1 million options. So very little stock outstanding. Management owns about 34%, top shareholders 20%, and the public float is about 44-45%. So some of the investment highlights, we're going to maximize shareholder value by executing some of these exploration programs, especially on Arequipe. We have a proven leadership, great track record. We have prime projects in good locations, good jurisdictions, with a strong ownership structure. And right now we have a little over 1.5 million in the bank, which is sufficient enough to bring us to the drill program and execute it. So I'd like to thank everybody for attending the presentation. And if anybody has any questions, I will open up the floor for questions. So one of the questions is, do you have any plans for the U.S. listing? Not at this moment, but at the beginning of 2026, we will apply for an OTC bulletin board symbol or listing. Another question here is, given the historical drilling at Arequipe, what underpins your current exploration model? And what conceptual target, size, grade are you chasing in the first two phases of drilling? Our first model right now is we're as I explained, when we launched our initial brownfield program, is we need to get a little bit more knowledge about the structure of the mineralization. The historical drilling, there was never any follow-up on the gold zones, and that's what we're looking for. So, when I mentioned earlier on in the presentation, we're looking at a targeted area about 400 meters by 3 kilometers. We want to step out. We want to do some twin drillings along the AK02 and start doing some step outs there, and trying to figure out where the gold mineralization is coming. And when we're looking at depth, we're looking at some of the grades, like I said, the 3 meters at 20 grams. That's really high grade. But what really interests us right now is that 80 meters at 3.2 grams gold. That's the interest that's piquing our attention. The next question is, what are the next steps for Lac Big Rush? Well, we're going to finish completing 100%. We're going to complete 100% acquisition of that. We're going to do some data compilation. We're going to do some initial exploration on that property shortly. So 2026, we're hoping to have a drill program on hand by midsummer or beginning of the fall. Next question, can you provide some color around support for your project in the Arequipa district, and what are the remaining permitting milestones before drilling? Some of the milestones that we're doing right now is that we're initiating a community outreach. That's going to be fantastic. We're going to do an environmental assessment. As you can see, the environmental assessment report is going to be relatively easy. There's no vegetation. It's arid, it's dry, it's desertic. So there's no vegetation there. The project has already been permitted on 2 different occasions, so we really don't see any obstacles in front of us, especially recently when we just saw that Tia Maria got fully permitted for production in October of this year, so the whole area is supportive of the mining industry. Peru looks really exciting. I know that is our main focus, but our property in Quebec is in a hot area right now with respect to Northern Superior. Can you comment? I think I made a few comments on that before. IAMGOLD has secured a huge land position there, which is fantastic. Now our neighbors is IAMGOLD. Both of our properties are surrounded by tier 1 producers. We need to put a bit more work into the Quebec property. follow up on Miranda's drilling that was done in the 50s and 80s. I mean, back in the 50s and 80s, you're doing about 100, 150 meters drill holes. So, you know, the techniques and the processes for exploration has evolved substantially since the 1980s. So I think that'll be relatively easy to put a program together for early next year. And the last question is, will the 1.5 million cover your drill programs for 2026? We're going to do all the permitting that we need to do right now. The first section of the drill program that we're going to initiate is going to be a reverse circulation drill program, followed by a diamond drill program. So what our goal is that we're going to have a lot of information, a lot of news flow coming out in the beginning of 2026. And I think that's going to give a lot of appreciation in the stock. We're basically 10 months old. We started this company back in December of last year, acquired these two properties early Q1 of 2025. So we're just out there now, getting the story out, getting some marketing, and I think that's going to bring some value to the stock price. And potentially we'll, hopefully with some of these results that are coming out, we'll be able to piggyback an additional financing. But if we looked at the first 2,000 meters of reverse circulation, it's going to roughly cost us about 600,000 all in. So, but I mean, it's always good to have a little bit more cash in the bank. We've had some expression from some of the warrant holders. They're very strategic holders for us. They're good long-term shareholders, and they've expressed their interest in exercising their warrants to provide additional liquidity. There are no more questions. I'd like to thank everybody for attending.